Okay, thank you. I'll now recognize Mr. Subramanyam for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate us having this hearing. I served in the second term of the Obama administration as a technology advisor in the White House. I worked a lot with a lot of great groups who were dedicated to modernizing government, making it more efficient, bringing AI to government. And one of them was the U.S. Digital Service, which has now become the U.S. DOGE Service. Another one was 18F, which has been completely set apart, has completely gotten rid of it. And I'll talk about them in a second, but one of the concerns I had about DOGE was that there's this notion coming in that they would come in and fire all these federal civil servants and that AI would replace them and that we'd save trillions of dollars as a result. And so that's wrong for a bunch of reasons. One, even if you fire every federal civil servant, you're actually not saving that much money in comparison to the deficit and the debt. But two, the federal workers are so essential when it comes to helping utilize these technologies, and especially the technologists that we've hired in recent years. And so we've heard a lot about this already from people testifying and even from members here, that it's not just about having AI, it's about having to deploy AI in a responsible way and in a manner in which we're not letting AI make mistakes. I'll give you an example. In Michigan, about, let's say, 10 years ago now, they deployed AI to try to find fraud, and they ended up finding a lot of fraud where there wasn't any fraud. And a lot of people got investigated, they went bankrupt trying to defend themselves from getting sued, and then they realized that the AI had made a big mistake. And there's so many other examples of AI being deployed in an irresponsible way because we simply weren't pairing them with a human element that could help sort of edit and deploy it responsibly. And so 18F is a great example of this. They were actually doing a lot of great work to modernize our federal government and bring AI to the federal government and going agency by agency and helping us procure great tools to do that. And instead, they were all fired, basically. DOGE came in and fired the entire staff at 18F. And now we're trying to figure out how to deploy AI in government, but we're chasing away the very technologists who can come to the federal government and help us do that. And so if we want AI and modernization in government, we need the best and brightest to be coming to government, but instead what we have is a brain drainer of federal government because we're trying to quote the OMB director, put federal workers in trauma. Who wants to come and work for the federal government if the people running the federal government wants to put you in trauma? Nobody. So we're not going to attract the best and brightest technologists to help deploy AI, and we're certainly not going to have what we need to have pairing up with AI in order to deploy responsibly. And then there's a lot of other things going on that I think are bipartisan, like making sure we update our legacy systems. I was just working with air traffic control, and I think their software is Windows 95. I've talked to many others in government who do technology. They still use Cobalt, right? They still use really antiquated technology and coding. So how are we supposed to deploy modern AI tools when we have these legacy systems, right? The other thing is, how are we supposed to recruit and retain great people to help transition and modernize our government when we're chasing them all away? And finally, this AI-human collaboration, it's already running into problems in the private sector, but it has to be even better in the federal government because, like in that example with Michigan, where people's lives were ruined because they deployed an AI technology irresponsibly, here, if you mess with an AI tool and it doesn't get people's checks on time for Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, then people are going to go without health care. People are going to go without being able to pay their utility bills. It's going to have a terrible effect on the American people, and that's what this is really about. It's not about just deploying AI so you can say you deployed AI. It's about making sure we're deploying technology for the benefit of the American people. And so I hope we can reverse course. I hope we can work in a bipartisan way to make sure that we are taking advantage of the advances in AI, but doing so in a responsible way. I yield back.
Thank you.